Put all these vats in a sacking court, shake it and go, start fighting with each other and grassing. And the ones who grass first will let you guys off. I've spoken to some survivors today, and even though it wasn't a pleasant experience, it hasn't ruined their lives. And it was like, one of the reasons why they didn't want a national inquiry is because they don't know what it's going to uncover, and they know if it uncovers too much, it can bring down this Labour government. Hence why they don't want a national inquiry. Hence why they're going to kick it back to local councils and say, you can do your own little inquiries. But how can Labour councils do an inquiry when the Labour council is as guilty as the grooming gangs for covering
You're
up?
marking your own homework.
Yeah, exactly.
And when indeed Labour councillors were doing the abuse.
And council staff.
And also the councils don't have the resources. They can barely keep schools open. How on earth are they going to spend £1 million or so on a basic inquiry? It's a joke.
And these inquiries are political. So even if we had a national inquiry, I don't want a national inquiry. It wouldn't be worth the paper it's written on. Andy Burnham did an inquiry in Greater Manchester. And the people they wanted to speak to said, yeah, I'm not coming to speak to you.
No, he didn't have the power to enforce it.
What we need is a Truth and Justice Commission. One with legal powers to compel you to turn up under oath and speak to the commission.
Under oath, yeah, and with imprisonment as an option if you don't. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you perjure yourself. And what we need to do then is we say to these people on the stand, this is, you're lower down the chain here. You're only a sergeant in the police. You're only a social worker. If you grass up everyone above you now and tell us what you were told to do,
absolutely,
you then will not be prosecuted, but you grass upwards.
You say you're a constable, if you can grass the sergeant up, you walk free. You get the sergeant, you can grass the inspector up, you walk free. And eventually you have the chief constables, and when you start locking up chief constables and mayors and senior councillors, and these people are in jail and they're doing 20 years, and I actually think that they should get a fixed term for each and every individual case. So you're not getting 10 years for 10,000. No, you're getting 5 years each, 10,000 cases, rest of your life in prison.
Yeah, and I'd be quite happy.
Frighten the shit out of them,
Yeah, because if you put a load of rats in a Hessian sack and shake it, they will fight among themselves, and that's what we need to do. Put all these rats in a sacking court, shake it and go, start fighting with each other and grassing. And the ones who grass first will let you guys off. And this whole
always grass upwards. Yeah, grass upwards and get the senior, because often in these cases, the senior people walk away and it's some low level or junior level that takes the rap. Well, let's not do that. Let's not have juniors taking the rap. Let's get those at the top. And that includes politicians as well, MPs. What was it? Harriet Harman, when she was representing Pye, she said that consensual sex with an adult does not harm a child. Her words.
Yeah. Well, last year we had about 1 or 2 years ago, it might have been last year, 18 months ago. The former, she was the head of Oldham Council at the time, a lady called Amanda Chadderton, stood up in a public meeting being filmed, this is on YouTube, about the grooming gang scandal. And she said, I've spoken to some survivors today, and even though it wasn't a pleasant experience, it hasn't ruined their lives. And it was like, I can't believe what you have just said.
No.
And
these people are delusional.
Yes. Absolutely delusional. And then the next election, 2 months later, she lost her seat and was kicked out. Rightly so.
Rightly so, yeah.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, it's only because these girls are powerless. They come from powerless people. Imagine that those children were the daughters presumably of politicians, of police officers, of people with authority. Let me tell you, it wouldn't have happened. There'd be knocks at the door at 3 o'clock in the morning and people have been dragged out.